faces a very tough task today in the Tennessee Volunteers as South Carolina plays host to our Jefferson Pilot Sports SEC Game of the Week. And hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. Thanks for joining us on our telecast. This is certainly a great time to be a South Carolina fan. There are some big games in the SEC. Of course, there's one in Jacksonville, Georgia, and Florida that South Carolina fans probably have an eye on. But the bottom line for South Carolina is if they win out, that means here today against South Carolina, against Tennessee, and of course against Florida in 2 weeks, they're playing for the SEC championship, Dave Rowe.
Absolutely.
Big task ahead a couple of weeks in a row. But certainly this team has found a way to win football games, and they do it with defense. They lead the conference in points allowed per game at just about a dozen a game. That's quite impressive. These guys are solid.
They are solid. They're a defense that last year, even though they were 0-11, they ranked 20th nationally. But they have size. They break big Cecil Caldwell numbers, 96 up the middle. Then they have agility at the outside, and Kalimba Edwards, he gets the ball fast. You've got Rashad Faison. He's got speed out there, coming out there, breaking up passes. And then Sheldon Brang, he brings results. 4 interceptions, he leads the team.
And Sheldon had a couple against Kentucky and a big win for South Carolina on the road. Now let's talk about this Tennessee team. They're young, but they get better every single week. They're 3-3 overall, but this defense has been there from game one, and they're playing perhaps as good as anybody in the country.
Absolutely. Their defense shines also. Big John Henderson, number 98. I love him in the middle. He's a big force, big tackler. Then you got Will Overstreet. He's got speed. He can run him down from the backside. Just when you think you've dealt with him, then you look at the backers, and you got Eric Westmoreland. He's got the attitude. And Anthony Sessions, he's the #1 tackler, and 4.5 sacks. They have a lot.
Well, Tennessee coming off a big win over Alabama. Meanwhile, South Carolina trying to go undefeated at home for the first time since '87. It's a great SEC matchup. Stay with us. In South Carolina, where it is perfect conditions for some great Southeastern Conference football, a capacity crowd on hand at Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina has only beaten Tennessee twice since 1903. We'll see if they can do that here today. Well, we have the third member of our team, as always. It's Charles Davis, and he has more on a couple of impressive running games.
Thanks, Dave, and we do have more on the impressive running games of both Tennessee and South Carolina. The key to today's game will be run defense. Who can shut down the running backs? Travis Henry on the left from Tennessee, an excellent running back. He's trying to get to 2,000 yards for the season. That's his goal. Derek Watson, a huge runner for South Carolina, averaging 109.5 yards a game, second in the SEC. Travis Henry, third in the SEC. If anyone can shut these two down, whichever defense shuts the other one down, that's the defense that will take control of the ball game. Back to you guys.
Well, Tennessee won the toss. They deferred. South Carolina will receive. South Carolina in their white pants and their red jerseys, while Tennessee's in the all-white. And there is Derek Watson, who will return kicks this afternoon. Philip Fulmer in his 9th year. He is 50-12 in the SEC, 79-17 overall. Lou Holtz, 4th best among active coaches with his 223 career wins. We got some guys who know a little bit about football. Derek Watson fields it at about the 8-yard line. Watson has some room. Derek Watson to the 30. He's tripped up there, so pretty good field position coming up for South Carolina. And here's how the South Carolina offense will go at it. Last week, Derek Watson and Andrew Pinnock both had over 100 yards rushing. Jermell Kelly, one of the premier receivers in the Southeastern Conference. Up front, these guys actually are the guys they wanted at the beginning of the year. They finally get them together. They're a little banged up, but Travell Wharton, the true freshman, has played perhaps the best. Already an injury to one of the Tennessee players, Kenyon Whiteside. Phil Petty, the starting quarterback for South Carolina, 53% completion. That's a serious improvement over a year ago when he completed just 44%. Phil's one of those guys who just doesn't get you beat. And Tennessee opens up with no backs and 5 wide receivers. And South Carolina, excuse me. Petty. Pass is complete out to the 39-yard line. Here's how that Volunteer defense lines up. These guys just come at you. They don't do a whole lot of gimmicking as much as just pound you and pound you and pound you. These front four are amazing. 15 sacks among their defensive line. Their backers are pretty good as well. Eric Westmoreland, a guy that's on the Butkus watch list. In the secondaries, Andre Lott has played everywhere. corner, free safety. Now he's at strong safety, the leader in that secondary.
Big second down here. You got momentum. You want to keep it going. You got the crowd behind you. Boy, and Big John Henderson kind of swoops that arm out there and just takes him down. What a force in the middle.
On the carry, Derek Watson. Henderson's numbers, 6 sacks this year.
We'll watch number 98. See, just pushes off. He plays well with his hands and just comes in there. When he gets that arm on you, he's going to bring you down. It was interesting in talking with him. He said he was really bothered by people getting at his feet. And he said, I've got to play more with my hands, keep them away so that I don't get tripped up in there.
3rd down and 2. Petty in the shotgun again. No backs alongside. Pass complete over the middle to Watson at the 45-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. Eric Westmoreland on the stop for the Volunteers.
And Dave, this is exactly what Phil Petty does so well in Derek Watson. Watson, we all know about his running statistics, but he's got good hands, good vision looking back, got the first down yardage. But Phil Petty, again, takes what they give him, doesn't make mistakes. Not the quarterback like a Quincy Carter or Jared Lorenzen, but I'll tell you this, very, very effective in this Lou Holtz offense. Does what they want him to do.
Fresh set of downs coming up for Carolina. Watson stopped for a loss of 2, maybe 3 yards. Westmoreland, the first man on the spot.
Boy, Tennessee coming with pressure. They get in your face so quickly. That time, I think it was Fleming, number 27, right in there. When he turns around, look, there they are, right there in his face. Nowhere to go. You see number 42. That's Eric Westmoreland. 22 is Sessions.
Tennessee coaching staff.
Yeah.
John Chavis sits up. He's all the way to the far
John's
right.
over on the far
Can't
right.
really see him, but he's the one who runs this defensive unit for the Volunteers and does a marvelous job. Pass complete. Brian Scott to the Tennessee 46-yard line before he's brought down. That's about a yard shy of the first down. Rashad Baker and Andre Lott both converge for the stop, a gain of 11.
Well, 2 things that come to mind. First of all, time to throw the football, then coverage. They're just not respecting number 82, Brian Scott. He's out there by himself. Hey, you got to come up. You got to get that corner on him. One thing about Tennessee, when they tackle you, look at the number of the white shirts that get there. They got a lot of players that run to the ball and get there in a hurry.
South Carolina on 3rd and short, lines up with 3 tight ends in the I formation. It's Pennick. Pennick across the 40 into the 36, maybe the 35-yard line. That's just power football. Andre Lott finally brings him down.
Well, Pennick is one of those guys, he's best when he just goes straight ahead. Don't get fooled. Just come right up in there. Look at the double team right there. They drove D'Angelo Lloyd off the line. Golly, he's 4 or 5 yards back. 99 gets on the tackle. But a great block up front.
Travis Lewis got a good block, the junior. He's 6 foot 250, number 40 in your screen, and right behind him is big Andrew Pennick at 245. Andrew lost 20 pounds to get to 245. Play clock running down. 1st and 10. The pitch goes to Pennick. Pennick, another first down inside the 25.
And Dave, this is the way you keep a crowd in it. You move the football on offense. Missed tackle there. First of all, D'Angelo Lloyd on the outside. Number 99 is going to miss the tackle on the toss. He's right there. He has a chance at him. But once Pennick gets turned upfield, they say, hey, don't worry about a lot of different things. Just put that head down and run.
Gain of 13 as you look at Skip Holtz, the offensive coordinator. This offense averaging 26 points a game, but they lead the SEC in rushing per game at 182.
Boy, Petty just doing a masterful job of controlling his offense.
Watson gets a couple on the play inside the 20. Andre Lott trips him up.
Well, we talked about defenses being the big part of this game. Right now, Tennessee's defense is not responding like they need to. Need to get off those blocks, slide over there. They're big. They're strong up front.
This has been an impressive drive so far for South Carolina. They've already gone 8 plays and eaten up 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they've done it mainly on the ground. It's the I formation, but a quick pass. Kelly picked off. Rashad Baker's still on his feet to the 35. Derek Watson brings him down. Oh, what a backbreaker.
Oh, you've got to make this catch. You can't allow it to skim off. And it just comes off Atkinson. If it touches you, you got to own it. Look to the right of your screen on the seam. When it bounces off like that, you just got to catch that football. Cannot have it bounce off you like that.
We'll return to Columbia after a word from Advance Auto Parts. Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and the Gamecocks scoreless. 9:57 to go in the first quarter. Here's Casey Clausen and what he has done in his first start against Alabama. 17 of 24. A couple of TDs and basically, as Coach Philip Fulmer said, managed the game extremely well. Travis Henry on the carry. Here's how the Volunteers backs and receivers look today. Travis Henry, of course, averaging 102 yards per game on the ground. Lately been struggling a little bit. Up front, Reggie Coleman, Bernard Gooden, Scott Wells, Toby Champion, and Michael Munoz, true freshman, the first true freshman to start on the offensive line since 1981. And he has gotten better with every single snap. 2nd and 7. Henry dives for maybe a yard. Here's how the South Carolina defensive line looks today. Cleveland Pinckney, Cecil Caldwell, really up the middle have been great. Kalemba Edwards is a guy that just gets better also with every single game. Coaches say they don't know how good he will ultimately be. Shannon Wadley has had some monstrous hits this season. Sheldon Brown, we talked about him, 4 interceptions, tied for the SEC lead, had 2 against Kentucky. That's a good secondary. DeAndre Island, the true freshman at free safety, had an interception last week and led the team in tackles with 10. There's Wadley. You saw 41. 3rd down and 5. Nice pass. Casey Clausen hits his man Eric Parker. That'll be a 1st down for the Volunteers. That's a good throw.
That was an excellent throw on an out pattern to hit him just in front of the 1st down marker. Great. Just good concentration, good eye coordination between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Again, drive him deep now. See that red flag? Come back. Make sure you get that foot down. Look at that. Got that foot perfect down there. And that's a long throw out into the flat like that. But South Carolina's told us that they were going to take. Charlie Strong, the defensive coordinator, said, we're going to take away the running game. We're going to make them beat us throwing it.
Pass falls incomplete. Will Bartholomew, the fullback, hit by Rashad Faison. Bartholomew basically just bobbled the football.
Boy, when you bobble it, you know they're coming up from the secondary. Watch this. A little fake, play fake. Now watch Bartholomew and listen. Pow. Boy, that's a big hit.
Faison, 63 tackles, leads this team, 11 of those for loss. He has been solid, a freshman All-American a year ago. To Henry, gets 5, maybe 6, tripped up by Cleveland Pinckney in the middle, big number 62. Cleveland, one of those seniors on the South Carolina team on senior day. And let's go down for more on with Charles. Charles?
Rashad Baker, the Tennessee Volunteer, intercepted that pass from Phil Petty. He came to the Volunteers from New Jersey as a wide receiver. It turned down many other schools because he didn't want to play defensive back. Turns out it's paid off well for the Volunteers, him going back to the secondary.
See if South Carolina doesn't try to get pressure.
3rd and 6. Pass complete, but it's well short of the 1st down. It goes to Eric Parker. Faison once again all over number 80 in white, and that'll bring up a 4th down situation. So the turnover didn't hurt South Carolina.
No, it did. They were able to work their way through it. Their defense came up with a big stop to stop Tennessee's vaunted offense. You have to play tough up front. You got to get those front 7 have got to get pressure on the quarterback. South Carolina did that. Now they're going to get the ball back.
One of the best punters in the country, David Leverton, punting it away to Derek Watson. Watson stands at the 10 and he dropped it. Loose football. Tennessee's got it. Touchdown for the Volunteers. Oh, what a huge break for Tennessee.
Dave, you can see this all the way as Derek Watson was catching the football. He took his eyes off, looked downfield. You cannot do this. You've got to just catch the football. That's why they give you the protection to the circle where you can't interfere. Again, you see he just takes his eyes off, trying to make something happen. And hey, credit Tennessee. Great hustle downfield to come up with the score.
Tad Golden comes up with the football. Derek Watson just misjudged it.
A little bit of conversation whether the ball should have been advanced.
Well, he gained possession. He gained possession on about the 1, and that's where they say he can't score the touchdown. You can't advance the muff punt. So they'll get it where Golden, they say, had possession, which will be at the 1-yard line. So no touchdown, but first and goal from about 6 inches.
No surprise here. Watch Travis Henry.
Henry gets in for the touchdown. Travis Henry on the 1-yard touchdown. It's his 4th of the season. And Tennessee silences the crowd at Williams-Brice Stadium.
Well, you just cannot allow things like that to happen, especially when you're a team playing with emotion as South Carolina is. Good stick up front. No surprises here. You give it to the man who brought you to the dance, and that's Travis Henry. He always gets that 1 or 2 yards, especially when you need it. Put that head down. You got to love his running style.
Alex Walsh, perfect on point afters. 15 of 15 this year, and you can make that 16 of 16. Punter David Leviton has seen a lot of action this year, and he's produced. This time his team gets a touchdown. Back after word from your local stations. Columbia, Tennessee certainly put a little damper in the festivities here at Williams-Brice Stadium. A David Leverton punt was bobbled by Derek Watson, and Tennessee able to recover, take it in for a touchdown 1 play later. Alex Walsh to kick off for the Volunteers. Watson back to return again, takes it at the 5. Watson has plenty of room. Watson across the 30. Watson out over the 40 to the 45. A big return. He makes somewhat of amends from that muff punt moments ago. And let's go back to that punt and show you the muffed punt by Watson.
David he takes his eyes off the football, and you see Tennessee come right in. Now watch the recovery. Right there, you'll see him pick it up, and he is on the 1-yard line when he has the recovery possession. So it's an excellent call by the officiating staff.
Tennessee outscoring their opponents 58-13 in the first quarter.
Now let's see how South Carolina settles back down. See if they get back into their offensive flow. They had a good drive last time, except for that interception.
Petty throws. Has Jermail Kelly, the senior out of Greenville, South Carolina, playing in his final home game in Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, one thing we're going to watch all day long is the pressure on Phil Petty. When he stands back there, he's in the shotgun. He's got everybody out in that wide spread formation. He's looking downfield. See if Tennessee can get pressure on him.
Fresh first down for South Carolina after the gain of 11. Kelly, one of those guys that has just quietly gone about his business and put up some impressive numbers. Here's Derek Watson. Gets a couple on the play. Omari Hand on the stop, number 91. Derek Watson has been impressive, but so is that man.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting back into football there. Ham watching that little toss and reacting back in. He's got outside containment, force it back inside, then reacts and makes back into the play. And just one of those sophomores.
Ryan Brewer in motion. It's a handoff to him. Brewer trying to get the corner, can't do it. Gets to the 40-yard line, run out of bounds by Eric Westmoreland. And that'll bring up a third down and about 5. Ryan Brewer played a little running back with a wide receiver. Punts a little bit, returns punts.
Mr. Everything. Does everything. That time I was kind of zeroed in on Melvin Page a little bit. Got a good block to the outside. Big junior, 6'5", 300 pounds. He hooked Jackson, brought him back to the inside. That's what allowed him to get that 6 yards on the carry.
No backs next to Petty. 5 receivers on 3rd and 5.
Well, a lot of people coming.
Carolina picks it up. That pass was intended for Jermail Kelly. It falls incomplete.
Well, that was good defensive coverage on the outside. They got one-on-one. Teddy Gaines is one-on-one, top of your screen. It's just going to be an in pattern. See number 484. Look at that. Good force right there. And Gaines does a good job of getting that hand and swiping down those hands of the wide receiver.
South Carolina forced to punt. Rashad Baker back to return the punt. Tyler Dean to punt.
We think he's going to punt.
Ran a fake last week that was successful. Ran a fake field goal as well to South Carolina. That punt hits at about the 12 and is downed at the 13.5-yard line by the Gamecocks. Tennessee leads by 7. We'll come back to Williams-Brice Stadium after this.
CC Football is being brought to you in part by Toyota. The value is real every day.
Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. Temperatures right around 80 degrees. Not a cloud in the sky. A capacity crowd on hand. And Tennessee takes over. Casey Clausen behind center, the true freshman out of California. Hands it off to Travis Henry. Henry looking for a big game. Talked to him yesterday, and boy, he's excited about the potential of really busting out for a big game like he did against Florida with 37 carries and 175 yards. Let's go down to Charles Davis.
Thanks, David. This time of year, depth is always an issue, and for Tennessee, the news is not good. Backup middle linebacker Keon Whiteside has torn an ACL, and of course will not return today and will be lost for the season. And also backup linebacker Eddie Moore has subluxed his left shoulder. He may not be back today also. They'll check and see.
Ouch.
Wow. That hurts early.
Second and short. Travis Henry tries to bull his way for the first down. I think he's got it. He needed to get to the 24, and he will mark it at about the 26-yard line. So a first down for the Volunteers and a fresh set of downs coming up.
And Dave, it's fun to see what Tennessee is going to do and what South Carolina is doing. South Carolina defense said, hey, we're going to take the run away. Tennessee is saying, hey, we're going to run the football. We're going to establish the run, and then we're going to come back and we'll loosen you up. So it's a dogfight down there, especially on that front line. Fun to watch. Cecil Caldwell, Pinckney up front, Scott Wells, those kind of guys. I mean, man, they are flat out playing nose to nose.
The pitch to Henry gets a yard and a half, maybe 2, before he's brought down. South Carolina's rush defense, 5th in the league, giving up just over 104 yards per game. That shows you how good this defense is in the Southeastern Conference, that how many good teams there are in terms of stopping the run. Meanwhile, in terms of rushing the football, Tennessee checks in at 6th of the 146 per game. South Carolina really can't afford many injuries up front. You saw Dennis Quinn hobbling off. Or Cleveland Pinckney, excuse me, hobbling off. Clausen brought down by Willie Alford.
Dave, this is one of those defensive secondary sacks. They were going to run a go pattern on the outside long, and when Clausen looked over here, it was covered. He had nowhere to go. They sent one deep. Watch, he's going to be looking to his right. He's got him, nowhere to go. I better bail out. And standing right in front of him was number 20, Willie Alford. Of course, Clausen, he was sacked, 5 times last game, so he's used to trying to run that football out of pressure.
Travis Henry gets most of that back and then some. Good run by Travis. Jonathan Martin in on the stop.
You talk about a big hole. This is a big hole. You can run through this. Watch right over in here. Gets the football. Now watch right there. You see the block up front. Bartholomew, he's turning inside, looking right there. And look at this hole right here. Wow. I know I can run through that hole.
4th down and 3, so Tennessee will punt it away. Leverton. Ryan Brewer returns it. He takes it at the 25. Brewer gets bounced around like a pinball, but holds on to the football. And that's where South Carolina will take over. Which single-season football team is the best in the league's history? You decide. Go online at jpsports.com and vote for the team of the century, brought to you by Sleep In. When you vote, you may be a weekly winner of 2 free nights at any Sleep In and entered to win a grand prize drawing for 7 nights at any Sleep In. You can also vote by mail. Send your selection to the address on the screen. Make your choice for the team of the century. This week's winner of 2 free nights at any Sleep In is Eddie Brennan of Center, Alabama. Here's Derek Watson. Watson trying to get to the corner, but what a great defensive play by one Eric Westmoreland. He already has 5 tackles, and there's 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Oh, I talked to Westmoreland yesterday. He said, hey, if I do something good, will you say hello to Mom and Dad? This is a great play. You see number 42? He's got backside containment. That's exactly why he's standing right there. Now, break down. Look at that. Comes right up, gets that hand on him and brings him down. Gets up like so nonchalant. You got to love his play. Just plays with a great attitude out there. He loves the game.
Coaches say he knows this defense as well as they do. Matter of fact, he's been the teacher on this young defense all season long. Petty under pressure, lets it go. Hits his receiver. That's Jermail Kelly to about the 36-yard line before he's brought down. And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Boy, not a lot of pressure. Phil Petty's been able to sit back in that shotgun. They put him in that shotgun because they said he has a lot more vision. He's not the greatest, nimblest quarterback getting back, but he plays well out of the shotgun. He's got good vision, gives him that little extra, maybe second and a half. And I think that's one of the tributes to Luke Holtz and his staff, is putting him back into that position.
3rd down and 6. Over the middle, this time the pass is caught. That goes to Brian Scott. First down inside Tennessee territory, down to the 40-yard line.
This is just an in pattern. You're just going to come down and you're just going to run inside. Watch, just curl inside. Now he's wide open. Look at the seam in there. Not a whole lot of help coming over. Rashad Baker gets over as late help, but good vision by Phil Petty looking down when he broke the seam and he was wide open. Delivered the ball there. Credit his offensive line, giving him time. Tennessee's got to come with some pressure. They get so much pressure on you. Look and see if they don't make some adjustments and bring those backers.
Gain of 24. Brewer in motion. Fakes the handoff. Petty has it. Little option. Nearly picked off. Oh, boy. They were looking for Derek Watson on that little shovel pass, and Tennessee had a pretty good read on it.
Boy, they did, but it was a good play fake. It's a play fake strong side, and then he comes back to the weak side to his right. And you see Watson right there. He's going to throw it to him. Look what happens to the ball. It almost gets intercepted. Now, that's not a fumble. It's a forward underhand pass. And Watson didn't have possession of it. So for those fans that think, hey, maybe that's a fumble, it is not.
2nd down and 10. Petty 6 of 9, 66 yards, has that 1 interception.
Oh, got some movement.
Shane Hall looks like he might have been moving around a little bit. One of those guards.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Puts a little bit more pressure on Petty. He needs 15 yards.
Philip Fulmer talking to him. You know, he's a little depressed about some of the losses they've had this season, but yet he's excited about the way his team's been playing. He knows that he sees the potential of this group, and he's pretty excited about the future.
Well, it should be. He lost a lot of guys and still playing at this level.
Petty goes up top. Overthrows his man. Crowd wants a flag. Won't get it. It's Willis Ham, the sophomore out of Columbia. He was over there being checked nicely by Teddy Gaines. Scores around the country. Nebraska on top of Oklahoma. That's got some meaning, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Northwestern and Minnesota tied at 7.
Hey, that's a big one right there. Baylor got blown out in the last couple weeks, but ahead of Texas.
Phil Petty.
Here comes some pressure by Tennessee.
3rd and 15. Brewer hit as the ball sailed right over his head.
Pass.
Thad Golden steps up, lays the hit on him.
Boy, when you see Tennessee start to creep up on that line, you know they're coming. And Phil Petty knows it. Got to get rid of this ball fast. He looks deep for a second. Does a little bit of roll. And you like that rollout to get away from that pressure. But Tennessee, they react so quickly. Got great team speed. Really come after you.
Tyler Dean back to punt. Rashad Baker back to return the punt. That punt hits at the 22-yard line and bounces out of bounds. Not exactly Tyler Dean's best effort. Next week, we will check in with the Florida Gators, who have a big one later on this afternoon in Jacksonville against the Georgia Bulldogs. Florida will head to Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. Greg Zolman, one of the unsung heroes of the Southeastern Conference, the southpaw quarterback for the Commodores, is having a sensational year, very quietly getting it done. Meanwhile, what can you say about the Grossman to Gaffney combination?
Has that not clicked this year? A lot of passes.
Couple of freshmen having good years. Another freshman, Casey Clausen, hits his man. That's Leonard Scott. That'll be good enough for a first down, but a late flag comes down at the 29-yard line, and that was
thrown against Faison, number 11. That was an altercation that was probably 20 yards away.
Steve Shaw, our referee today. Got a good crew today. Butch Lambert Jr., Lance Thomas, Mike McGinnis, Mike Washington, Bobby Moreau, Prince Pollard, all solid SEC officials. Here's Steve.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Since it was a dead ball foul, we will not extend the quarter. It'll be a first down Tennessee into the first quarter.
That'll move the ball to the 50-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter. Back to Columbia in a moment. Tennessee leads 7-0 over South Carolina as we get set for second quarter football. Moments ago, we had that 15-yard penalty on Rashad Faison. It was a 13-yard completion to Leonard Scott. Then they pick up another 15 on the personal foul. So it moves the ball to the 50-yard line. Casey Clausen in control for the Vols. Quick hitter to the near side. That's Dante Stallworth. Only a gain of 2.
And Dave, it's been a game of miscues. Miscues are an interception, a tip pass there. James Atkinson should have had it. And then Derek Watson follows it up with a muff punt. And anytime you get that close, it's Henry time. And Travis Henry makes him pay for those mistakes.
Here's a look at our Lowe's first quarter stats. Rushing yards, pretty equal. Total yards, though, South Carolina with 92. It's just that one big interception really cost them. They were well into Tennessee territory. Had a chance for some points. Pressure on Clausen. He goes down. Rashad Faison along with Marco Hutchinson bring down Clausen, the second sack of the day for the Gamecock defense.
Well, they love to bring the spur, and the spur is Faison. Top of the screen, you'll see him. Bang, he's coming. Look at the quarterback. Nowhere to go. Can't step up. He's got a lot of red shirts there. That's the way you disrupt and just kind of get that offense. I don't think they're not happy. Look at him. A little bit of physical. Oh, a little physical up front there.
Loss of 7. That brings it 3rd and 14. 17 sacks allowed by that young offensive line. Clausen in the shotgun. Here's the pressure again. Clausen gets it off, has his man. First down, Tennessee. It's Cedric Wilson. When in doubt, go to the senior Wilson.
Absolutely. Wilson, great crossing pattern. He's wide open. Big pressure there. Willie Sam's getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. You see number 55 right there and 98 getting pressure. But look at Clausen. Hold in there. And then he finds Cedric Wilson coming across. Wings that arm out there and watch Wilson come down with it. A little bit behind him, but huge play. Gets that first down, gets him out of trouble.
Most importantly, I think give a lot of credit to Cedric Wilson. Even on that crossing route, he never lost sight of the first down marker. 1st and 10 now from the 39 of South Carolina. Clausen to throw again to the outside. It's Dante Stallworth. Fights his way. close to another first down. Kevin House finally brings him down.
Boy, coaches love that. When you can get hit on for about a 4-yard gain and you just keep those legs churning. Watch this. Top of your screen right there. Now watch what he does. He's hit on about 5 yards. Now watch this. Get those legs going. Pick up that first down stretch. That's great.
Charles, you got more on Cleveland Pinckney?
Yes, Cleveland tweaked the ankle that he hurt a couple of weeks ago. They're going to have him settle it down for a while. He'll try and go again later. They need him back because Langston Moore's out for the game.
Yeah, Langston Moore's been playing well. The redshirt freshman has a broken hand. That'll be a first down for the Vols. The carry goes to Henry, brought down by Faison. Cleveland Pinckney, they call him the big sexy. Kind of the leader out there for the South Carolina defense. Just an emotional guy, talks a lot, gets everybody happy, involved.
Did you notice when I said yesterday, Coach, is there one guy out there you really like? You said, oh, Cleveland Pinckney. He's something else. He's special.
First and 10 for the Vols at the Carolina 25. Falls into the end zone, too far and out of bounds off the hands. I believe that was Wilson down here in the corner.
Is he going to come back and play?
That was Cedric. Cedric has just been a consistent performer for Philip Fulmer and this team. A Blitnikoff Award finalist. Had a couple of TDs last week versus Bama. He's 4th all-time at UT in reception, 7th all-time at UT in receiving yards, and 36 catches this year with 6 TDs. The team's thrown 11 TDs, and he's caught 6 of them. Second down and 10. It's the 8th play of this drive. Flag down, and it's picked off. Kalimba Edwards. Kalimba inside the 10. Touchdown, South Carolina. But a flag is down at the 29.
And Dave, from where that flag was thrown, it's thrown right in the offensive line. See if it's not offensive holding. Declined.
81 yards for Kalimba Edwards. The junior out of East Point, Georgia, electrifies the crowd in Williams-Brice.
Well, let's see if we can see the hold that happened right there. Now watch right here. You can't grab and pull down. See the official right behind. He saw it. And again, this is the tail end of it. Again, a tipped pass. Anytime you tip that ball, you've got defensive players running to it in a hurry. And Edwards, he's the speed merchant out there. He's a lighter one, and he shows what he can run.
6'6", 260. The point after is up and good by Daniel Weaver. We are tied at 7. Kalimba Edwards, he's been an awesome specimen all year, and he steps up with a big play. Back in a moment. Well, the presidential election just around the corner, and of course these guys in Columbia certainly want their guy in there. Lou Holtz, so far what he's been able to do with South Carolina has been quite amazing. Kalimba Edwards on the 81-yard interception return for a touchdown, not even close to the school record, which is 102 yards set back in 1973. That kick sails deep into the end zone, and for South Carolina, that is impressive. Their special teams, they haven't been great, but you know, they haven't been horrible.
No, there have been aspects of their kicking game that have been good, but their field goals certainly have not.
Let's go down and check in with Charles again.
Fred Weary, who was supposed to start at center for the Volunteers this year, hurt an ankle earlier this season, required surgery. He's lost for the year. That has really hurt the Tennessee offensive line because he had the most experience. A couple of sacks already today. A freshman at center now.
The pitch to Travis Henry. He gets 6 or 7. Travis Stevens, excuse me, on the carry. Henry taking a breather.
You know, that reminds me of that old Green Bay sweep. You know it's coming. They get 2 big guards out in front. They just kind of rumble you along. They're just known for it. And Travis Stevens picks up nice yardage. Obviously not getting as many runs, Dave, as he would like to have.
Scott Wells, the redshirt freshman center, leading the charges for Travis Stephen. Gets a couple of yards. Going to be shy of the first down, I believe, by maybe a yard or so. See how Casey Clausen responds. Last week, he was pretty flawless in his start against Alabama. 17 of 24, 213 yards. And when he got his first action against Louisiana Monroe, he passed for 3 touchdowns. So to throw this interception on the road, he hasn't really been in this predicament before. It'll be interesting to see how he responds, because this crowd can make some noise.
Oh, they're going to make noise on this play.
Third down and short. Did he make it? It's Travis Stevens. Sheldon Brown steps up. I don't know if he got it.
Well, yeah, I thought he had to make the 30-yard line because the kick was into the end zone. He didn't make it. He's a yard short.
The defense holds, and Tennessee forced to punt.
And Dave, one thing impressive by South Carolina right now, getting a lot of people to the ball. That time, 10 red shirts on the ball. Sheldon Brown from the right corner comes up and makes the tackle. Big play.
Leverton averaging 40.5 yards per kick. Came in averaging 42.1. Brewer at the 26. Brewer to the 31. 36, excuse me, a return of about 10 for Ryan Brewer. Phil Petty and company back on the field. We're tied at 7. We'll be back after a word from your local stations. Pretty much dominated with the colors of orange. Tennessee, Florida, and Clemson. 1st and 10 for the Gamecocks from the 36. Fumble. Derek Watson falls on it. Loss of 4, maybe 5.
And that's the quarterback's fault on that one. He put it on his hip. He didn't put it in the basket. You got to reach up and put that ball up in the hip. See where he puts it down on his thigh? They're lucky to come up with that ball. Heads up play by Watson just to get down on top of it.
On the play, 2nd down and 13 from the 33.
Watson has fumbled a few times this year. Matter of fact, against Mississippi State, fumbled twice and was actually taken out of the football game. Rashad Moore, by the way, leaving the field in his own power for Tennessee. Derek Watson, of course, had that struggle against Mississippi State and lost a yard on 14 carries.
That's pressure.
Petty gets crushed as he lets it go. Flag is thrown at the 41. That'll be pass interference. Teddy Gaines was running stride for stride with Jermail Kelly and bumped him out of bounds.
And boy, it just looks like South Carolina's guessing right on offense. That time they felt the blitz. They went on that one-on-one, just a fly pattern down the center. They're down the sideline, and they're going to get an interference.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And this is just a go pattern down the side. Just what you do is just try to get even up. Now, just do a little juke now. Just pour it on. That's Jermail Kelly, Teddy Gaines. And you see the little push there. I think you would have had it had he not had to push, Dave. So that's not all that bad. Instead of getting a 30-yard gain, you get a 10-yard penalty.
First down at the 48-yard line.
That'll make it 1st and 10. Carolina at their own 48. Plenty of time on the play clock. 10 seconds. Ready? It's his receiver. Willis hand spins and rolls his way to the 40-yard line. Jack Golden on the stop.
Boy, what a nice stretch. Big target, looking downfield. Petty, you know what was interesting about Petty that time? There's a lot of confusion in the backfield, but he just didn't panic. Ball's big receiver coming off. And look at that, just stretched to get out there.
And another Carolina
Stretched to get first down yardage. We talked about Phil Petty. We talked about his competitive nature, but just has a lot of control in the pocket. Petty lofts it up high, throw nearly picked off.
intended for Ted Crawford, but that pass looked like it came out of Petty's hand very awkwardly, almost like it slipped out of there.
Well, I think what he did is he saw that pressure coming up the middle, Tennessee bringing pressure on him, and what he did is just kind of squatted on it. You see, kind of like short-armed it, just really didn't throw the football. You just don't want to tip it when you're in that backfield there. Tennessee can flat out get to the football in a hurry.
2nd down and 10. Bad snap. Petty has to just fall on it. Yesterday, talking to Skip Holtz and really Lou Holtz, they said all we want is for our guys to have a turnover-free football game. We've been preaching it and preaching it and preaching it every single day. All we want is a turnover-free football game.
Well, this is a quarterback taking his eyes off the football. What happens is you get big eyes when you're down there and you see something, and all of a sudden you're going, oh, we're going to do so-and-so, but you just have got to catch that football first. If you don't, it's a 5-6 yard loss. Look the football in, and when they get him over the sideline, they'll talk about that.
Phillip Jones has a couple of bad feet at center. Didn't know how much he would play today. He and Scott Brown alternating there at the center as a flag comes down.
Boy, South Carolina going the wrong way.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, Dave, we knew that this was we knew there were a lot of people here, more than usual. It's our 3rd game this year in Columbia. Well, now we know why, because there's a record crowd on hand. 84,200, a new Williams-Brice Stadium record. The previous mark, 83,700 versus Clemson back in 1997. It's the final game of this 2000 season. Regardless of what happens from here on out for South Carolina, you know these fans will remember this very special time.
They'll never forget it. And Tennessee has a tremendous following that don't tell me another penalty this time.
Shane Hall jumped that time.
Gosh, they had 1st down on the 39. Now they're back in their own territory.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Lou Holtz not happy with that. Gamecocks 4 penalties already for 30 yards.
Well, now if you're Tennessee, do you bring pressure? Do you try to bring that edge pressure where they can get pressure on Petty and make them forced to throw it fast? If you're Petty, can you get those 3 wideouts going down and maybe catch on a seam? And we'll find out. A lot of confusion in the backfield there for Phil Petty.
Play clock nearly down to 0. Little split screen in the middle. Nice play. Brian Scott on the reception. They get about 12 out of the play. Eddie Moore read it pretty well for Tennessee and makes the stop. And that'll bring up a 4th down situation. So what looked like a promising drive nets a punt for South Carolina.
Well, this has been a game of turnovers so far. Those 2 interceptions loom big. You take them out, each team doesn't score 7 points. We'd be 0-0 instead of 7-7.
Tyler Dean's punt. Fair catch called for by Rashad Baker, and he does so at the 16-yard line. We're tied at 7. 6:21 to go in the 2nd quarter. Back to Columbia, South Carolina in a moment. Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. 6:21 to go in the 2nd quarter. Knotted up at 7. A couple of interesting scores for both teams. Interception return by Kalinda Edwards, 181 yards for South Carolina. That's Travis Stevens on the carry. And then Tennessee's touchdown came after a muffed punt by Derek Watson. They took it at the 1 and finally scored a touchdown the very next play. Let's go down to Charles Davis.
Guys, you saw Rashad Moore go out of the game for the Tennessee Volunteers. He has a sprained foot, and he's out for the rest of the game. You saw his frustration as he came off the field, flinging his helmet, bringing a reaction from the South Carolina fans.
It's an injury-filled weekend.
Yeah, sure.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Even my partner got hurt.
Casey Clausen flushed out of the pocket. Being chased. Dennis Quinn was chasing him. Wadley finally ran him out of bounds.
Well, and let me tell you how big that is. Clausen has that good speed. He can get to the outside. He can allow his wide receivers to get open. Nobody was able to get open. You got to credit that secondary for that kind of a sack. A lot of time back there. Big lineman giving them time, but nobody getting open.
Charles, you have some more on that injury?
Well, no more on the injury, but earlier today, you remember Casey Clausen took a sack when both backs went the wrong direction. Don't forget, he's a freshman. He may sometimes put the team in the wrong formation or wrong alignment and go the other way. That leads to problems.
Clausen facing a 3rd and 8. Pressure coming. Gets hit as he lets it go. Pass is incomplete, but he is swarmed by Kalimba Edwards, the first man on the scene for the Gamecocks.
And Edwards came all the way around the outside of the tackle. We talked about his speed. We saw it on the interception. He's going to come from the left all the way around the outside. Look at the top of your screen. Just as Clausen was lucky that wasn't a fumble, because he barely got that arm going forward. Of course, Edwards with that interception, he's got a sack, he's got 3 tackles. Number 55 has been all over the place.
Ryan Brewer back to receive the Leverton kick. Dragged his way for maybe a yard or 2. Payne Weber presents the SEC Good Works team, recognizing superior community service efforts. Today's honoree is senior punter David Leverton from the University of Tennessee. Throughout the last 4 years, David has contributed 50 to 60 hours per year in community service to various groups such as the FCA, Special Olympics, Boys and Girls Clubs, and the Children's Hospital. Payne Weber is proud to salute David Leverton for being named a member of the SEC Good Works team. Thank you, Payne Weber. David Leverton has been an awesome force for Tennessee, a Ray Guy Award candidate, as a matter of fact, among his other recognitions. Andrew Pennant gets the corner and probably 9 yards. Might have a first down. Rashad Baker finally tackles him, but not before he made it into Tennessee territory.
And I like the way Pinnock runs. He's a north-south runner. Just put that, when he plants that right foot right there and bounces back inside, he puts that head down. Look, he's just galloping in there. Don't get fancy. Don't try. He's not a juke runner like Derek Watson. He's just a bull. He just goes straight ahead.
No huddle for South Carolina. Buck Fitzgerald, backup corner, hobbles off on the Tennessee bench. Charles Davis, of course, hustling to get there. Loose football. Who's got it? Knocked right out of Phil Petty's hands. South Carolina somehow comes up with it, but a loss, a big loss, takes them back inside their own territory to about the 46-yard line.
Boy, Philip Fulmer and Luke Holtz know what a huge turnover that would have been. Big swat in there. Somebody got an arm in there. Maybe from this side right in there. Let's see if 98 doesn't get it. John Henderson right there. Yeah, big John Henderson. Now that ball's just laying there. Look, it gets kicked around. And I think it was Johnson comes up with the fumble recovery, the right guard, number 73.
Phil Petty and company have had trouble holding on to this football today. 2nd down and 17 now. Petty, quick pass. It's caught. And they'll say he's down. No fumble. Kelly on the reception.
Wow, Dave, that was a great reception. Did you see how far Jamel Kelly had to reach out and stretch for this ball? It's thrown to a spot. Watch 84. Crossing pattern. Look at him stretch out. Long hands. Now he said he was down. Then the football comes out.
Let's go down to Charles Davis.
You guys talk about Jamel Kelly. Skip Holtz told us before the game they want to make a concerted effort to get him the ball. They believe he's a playmaker. Came into this season with a 34-game streak of catching a pass in each game. It was broken early, but they're trying to get him in the game today.
Oh, he got him with the freeze count, Charles. You remember that.
D'Angelo Lloyd topped off sides.
What you do is you come up the line, you say, hey, listen, lineman, it's going to be on 4. It's called a freeze count. And what you do is you yell, hut, and then you really emphasize that second one and drag him off sides.
Dead ball foul, offsides, contact by the defense, 5-yard penalty. It'll be a first down.
Here's where it is. Watch the head of the quarterback. Hut, hut. You see him pull, both of them come out. Now, if you're the defensive line coach, what you do is you turn around and say, hey, you got to stay on side. You got to watch that football. But I think Tennessee may have
Edward Kendrick is down. They nicknamed him Pooh Bear, former tight end, on a weird situation on a play that really didn't happen, and offsides. And they begin to look at the lower part of that leg. Let's see.
They've just gotten twisted in there, but boy, Tennessee's got a lot of players getting hurt today. This is a hard-hitting game, a lot on the line.
Kendrick, one of those guys, young guys that's seeing a lot more time and seeing a lot of snaps. And you know, you don't want to harp on this, but a year or 2 years down the road, when these sophomores or seniors, freshmen or juniors, whew.
I want to tell you something. You know, everybody talked about Philip Fulmer and what the job that he has done as we look at the injured players for Tennessee. But the marvelous thing is, look how many players he lost off his last year's team, both seniors and people who went out early, and he's come back to play on this level. That's the marvelous job by Philip Fulmer and his staff.
Had a big test last week against Alabama. This young team facing another stern one here today on the road. Andrew Pinnock busts his way down to the 25, 26-yard line.
I want to tell you, I think I just keep on giving the ball to Pinnock. He is really running hard. I mean, he's getting you those yards after contact, after he's been hit on the line. He's just putting his head down.
4 for 39 for Pinnock. That'll work.
That'll work. That'll work real nice.
2nd and 6. There's Pinnock again. Somebody at Tennessee met him. I couldn't get that number. Albert Hainsworth, I believe, met him right in the hole, and that was a major collision.
You know, I saw Eric Westmoreland go down. He may be hurt on the play. Number 42. Yeah, he's going to the sideline. He came up and took that lead block. Boy, Tennessee fans don't want to see that.
Injuries upon injuries. The senior out of Jasper, Tennessee.
Yeah, I thought I saw he actually might have gotten injured before that, came back and played, and just got hit that time. But boy, he's a great kid. Man, you talk about a great kid to talk to. It was fun yesterday at their walkthrough. Just a wonderful young man.
Well, a pretty big down here for South Carolina. 1:47 to go before halftime. It's 3rd and 3. Go to Pinnock, and he takes it inside the 20. First down, South Carolina.
They call it yards after contact, after you get hit. Pinnock carried, what, 3-4 times in a row? Watch this, big blocks there, everybody drives off. Now watch Pinnock right there, put his head down. Look at those legs churning, stretching to get that line. Again, watch this. This is not a gimme. Right there, he's hit. He's hit on about the 24-yard line and makes it inside the 20.
Pinnock again. Boy, does he hit people. You can just hear it.
What's that, 5 carries in a row, I think? Golly, that's... Boy, look at Lou Holtz. Is he upset? Lou Holtz is getting his quarterback's attention.
And he just said, I run this team.
Yes, sir.
Timeout taken. 1:18 to go before halftime. Coming up next week, we will travel to Nashville, Music City, to see the 8th-ranked Florida Gators and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Coming away 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Florida, big game today against Georgia. And there are a couple of really good receivers. Dan Stricker had a big game last week against this South Carolina team. And when you talk to Charles Strong, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, he said he was so impressed with Mr. Stricker for Vanderbilt.
He said whoever that 85 was, he was something. And how about Gaffney? I mean, where'd he come from? He just came out of nowhere, burst onto the scene, and he's averaging 85 or 90 yards a game.
Timeout taken by South Carolina. It's a situation where you would love to get out of here with a touchdown. Your field goal kicking unit has not been great. As Lou Holtz told us yesterday, he goes, there's nothing wrong with it. Our guys just can't kick under pressure.
We don't have a field goal kicker. No, they want 7 on this. If you're a Tennessee fan, you're saying, hey, the big boys up front got to come up with a stop.
9th play of the drive. A little play action. Petty keeps it. Petty under pressure. Stops and throws an incomplete pass. Pretty good play by Petty. He would have taken about a 5 or 6 yard loss had he not thrown it.
Didn't fool Tennessee. They kept backside containment, and that's a sign of a great coach really well-coached team. You've got a backside containment. He comes up, he's got that backside, and he just stays there with it.
Skip Holtz told us yesterday that he felt Phil Petty is a guy that doesn't really like to throw it, try to thread the needle with his passes, and whereas sometimes he would like to see his quarterback maybe try it, be a little risk taker.
Well, he needs one right now.
3rd and 4. All kinds of movement up front.
Now who moved? I thought I saw Melvin Page drop back, but I saw Tennessee jump a little bit early on the right side. Well, we'll find out real quick. I think it's South Carolina.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Boy, South Carolina came into this game with a lot of anticipation about this offensive line that they were going to start today. As you see that right side basically move, Larrell Johnson. But with Wharton, Williams, Brown, Fry, and Page, it's basically their front 5 they want to see up there. But they've played 8 guys already in the offensive line.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Shane Hall and Larrell Johnson.
Petty goes down hard at the 27-yard line. Big John Henderson with another sack. That's 2 today. He's got 12 in his career and 8 this season.
Boy, this is a smasher. Watch right in there. Watch there. You're going to see a sack. Look, watch number 98. Gives a swim. This is just pick him up. Wow. You talk about taking him down. 98. Oh, man.
The Outland Trophy candidate certainly isn't hurting his chances for that. The Defensive Player of the Week last week, as he had 7 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for a loss against Alabama. A loss of 8 on the play, and that'll bring in the field goal unit. Jason Coursey will be the man to handle this. Daniel Weaver has kicked last week. Reed Bethea is a guy that's also kicked. I mean, it's a field goal kicking team by committee. And let's not forget, last week they had a fake field goal attempt that worked flawlessly against Vanderbilt.
Well, you know it compounds this. Travell Wharton, the big freshman tackle, just had to come out, so his backup's got to come in there, and he's not used to that field. That puts even more pressure on the field goal team. Wharton came out limping. This is a long field goal.
.45-yard field goal attempt. His first career field goal attempt. It's a fake. The throwback.
Oh, no.
And Coursey took a knee at the 26, and he's down there. It would have been a touchdown.
Unbelievable. Look at Lou Holtz. You got to throw the ball to him. Look at him. You got to throw the ball to him. Oh, mercy. It was wide open. The holder's going to go out here to see the holder. The kicker goes out there. Now he rolls out this way here. Look at you see the kicker throw it back to him all the way back. Now watch the ball. Look how wide open he is. Nobody. Oh, mercy. Just throw it up. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Kevin Sides is the holder, and he, of course, a quarterback, receiver. He's been a lot of things here for South Carolina. Just underthrew his man. Tough break with 54 seconds to go, but a good one for Tennessee, and they'll be happy just to probably run this clock out before halftime. Travis Henry on the carry. For more on halftime, let's go down to Charles.
A great first half, huh, guys? A lot of hard-hitting action, and both teams' scores came after turnovers. Tennessee picking up a fumbled punt, and South Carolina off a tipped interception pass. Coming at halftime, we'll take a look at 2 of the greatest players in SEC history. Auburn's Pat Sullivan and Bo Jackson. Both finished their careers by winning the college football's most prestigious individual honor, the Heisman Trophy. We'll show you stats and highlights from the first half.
Travis Henry on the handoff, and that'll be the last play of the first half. A defensive battle. We knew it. 2 of the best defenses in the Southeastern Conference going head-to-head, and we're tied at 7. We've got 30 minutes of football remaining. Let's check in with Charles.
Coach, tough first half, a few mistakes by your offense. What are you going to do to talk about the half?
Well, we got enough to last a lifetime. We have a guy wide open on the field. All we got to do is lob it out. Just get it to him. We throw it in the dirt. We've had more motion penalties. We have trouble hearing the count, the cadence. We had a mistake on the punt. We dropped an interception that turned into an interception. Just make mistakes. We're not playing like we should. We're playing like we want to lose.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. When we come back, we'll show you stats, highlights, and scores from around the
minutes. So, Dave, as you look forward here to the second half and having already seen the first 30 minutes, what do you look for in Rowe's rewind?
Well, first of all, Tennessee has got to keep the pressure on Petty. They've got to force him to make a mistake. And he's prone to do that if you get enough pressure on him, and they can do that. Then the second thing, run the football. They've only got 18 carries, 44 yards. That's 2.4 yards, and they've got a whale of a rush game. For South Carolina, hold on to the ball. Golly, you just can't drop it that many times. And then, as you said, where is Watson? 5 carries, no yards. That's not the Watson that we've seen.
Yeah, the SEC second leading rusher, averaging just about 110 yards per game, averaging 170 all-purpose yards, best in the Southeastern Conference. Well, they celebrate all the armed forces here on Senior Day. That is quite impressive. Back in a moment.
injuries. What is their status for the second half? Eric Westmoreland specifically.
Well, a little bit concerned about Eric, whether he'll be able to play any at all in the second half. They're evaluating him now. He's got a rib injury. I hope he's back.
What did you talk? Sorry, Coach. What'd you talk about to your team at the half? A number of errors in the first half, some things to correct?
Well, we gave them one, they gave us one. It's a new 30 minutes, and we've got to go play better football. Offensively, we just haven't gotten into any kind of flow. We've got to make some plays on offense.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
There's our running story today. We came in talking about the second and third leading rushers in the conference. A little bit better for Travis Henry than Derek Watson, but nonetheless, expect a little bit more out of these guys.
I do. I expect a lot more out of them. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the premier running backs. Derek Watson, 5 rushes, no carries. I mean, no yards. And fortunately, they've had a pretty good first half by Phil Petty out there. He's led them well going up down the field.
Casey Clausen today, 6 of 10, 1 interception, 49 yards. A stellar performance like he had a week ago. Well, we've got a fresh 30 minutes coming up, tied at 7. South Carolina to kick off, Tennessee to receive. Leonard Scott, one of the deep men back for the Volunteers. Great speed, takes it at the goal line. Scott has some room to the outside. Across the 25 to the 30. Pretty nifty return for Leonard Scott. Came in averaging about 20 yards per return last year. 27 a return. Return of 32 on that particular one. Casey Clausen, as we mentioned, 6 of 10. Has that one interception that hit Kalimba Edwards. And Kalimba returned it 81 yards for a touchdown. South Carolina's only points in the first half. And Coach Fulmer mentioned that never got in sync. I think you could say that about both teams.
Absolutely. No, both teams making a lot of mistakes. Fumbled the ball, put it on the ground a lot. Well, here's a wasted play. This is a timeout. It's going to be charged against South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina and Lou Holtz call a timeout. We'll take one, too. A little over 80 degrees.
Great day to play football. Don't you love it?
Record crowd on hand, close to 85,000. Travis Henry. Faison holds on for dear life to make the stop. That's Travis Henry. Boy, he's a north-south guy that will hit you.
I love the way he runs. He's got those quick feet, gets him on the ground real big. Good fullback block in there, number 45. Bartholomew gets in there, into the hole. Watch this. Kick him out. Bang. Just hold him up there now. You're not going to bring him down with an arm. You got to get in front of him. Then you get run over. But I love the way he runs.
You know, he doesn't look that big, but yet Travis Henry is a guy that has ran over more than a few people in his life. Looks like Reggie Coleman, the left tackle, jumps and...
Boy, that's a coach's killer. I can tell you, Philip Fulmer looking across there. You're in second down and 1, and now you're in second down 6.
Ball charged on the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
He's an old offensive lineman. He knows what that's like.
Second down.
Coach Strong, defensive coordinator.
34.
Blue can't be disappointed with his defense. They finished 20th nationally last year despite going 0-11, and this year they're picked up and even better than they were a year ago. A quick hitter to the outside, and you see why this defense, they swarm to the football. This is why they're so good.
Oh, that was a great play right there. Big lineman coming out. Cornerback comes up on the play. He's just running hard up on the play. You'll see it right in the top of your screen. Here comes Brown. Up. Don't give him time to get out there. You see that lineman trying to pick him off right there? Brown comes up underneath it, makes a tackle for no gain.
All right, well, big third down now, 3rd and 8.
Now if you're South Carolina, do you bring pressure? Do you sit back?
Here comes this crowd. With his 2nd sack today.
We talked about what Edwards brings to the football game. He brings speed. Look at number 55 from the backside. He runs them down. He had that big interception. Nobody caught him from behind. Now 2 sacks, 5 tackles. That's why they're good. They've got team speed on defense.
Leverton to punt it away. Brewer lets it go out of bounds at the 26.5-yard line. That's where South Carolina will take over. A flag down at the 31-yard line. So let's hold on just a moment. Steve Shaw will get the update and give us the call momentarily. Good, I think, an impressive defensive stand by South Carolina in terms of maybe gathering some momentum here in the second half.
I think so, too. That's a tone setter. Because when you come out and you stop them, you get 3 or 4 and out, you hold them maybe to a first down. Yeah. You got to realize how vaunted this offensive Tennessee is. It's big time.
During the kick, holding on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, and it'll be first down.
So they don't lose possession. But here's a look at the SEC East race and what it means for the 3 teams. You know, we all thought there'd be 3 teams battling it out for the East, but we thought Tennessee would be there instead of South Carolina. Florida, Georgia later on this afternoon. South Carolina holds their own destiny. They win here and they play Florida next week. I mean, everybody else has to hope something else happens.
Yeah, but when you're holding your destiny against Tennessee, Florida, then Clemson, 8-5, wow, those are formidable opponents.
Florida can beat Georgia, beat Vanderbilt, and of course beat South Carolina. They'll head to the Georgia Dome. Of course, we'll have Florida next week right here in our JP Sports Game of the Week from Nashville, Tennessee against those Commodores. Pitch. There's Derek Watson. Derek Watson takes it close to the 30-yard line, a couple of yards shy of the first down. You know, Dave, this is very similar to what we saw at Mississippi State. Derek fumbles a couple of times, never really got in the flow, and didn't play a whole lot. As a matter of fact, in the second half, he played 15, 16 plays, but basically he was used as a blocking back.
Exactly right. And let me tell you, as a football player, when you disappoint your team, like he did, you disappoint your team, and then all of a sudden you get a chance to reprieve yourself. See if there isn't a different Derek Watson running this second half.
Derek Watson tries to make something out of nothing and hobbling off the field. 76, Cedric Williams. Boy, they have had some problems on that offensive line. We knew they were somewhat banged up. Travell Wharton, the left tackle, the outstanding true freshman, 68, injured. Cedric Williams is injured. C.J. Fry comes in a little banged up. Larrell Johnson's also injured a little bit. Boy, you don't want an injured offensive line against Overstreet, Kendrick, Henderson, and Lloyd. 3rd and 4.
Where in the world did that ball go? I never saw it. I saw Phil Petty reach for it, but I never saw it come off the ground.
Phillip Jones in at center, another one of those guys. He's had foot surgery. He's had some problems with his toes, and the ball never really got to the quarterback.
Wow, that is a tough one.
Dead ball. Snap infraction.
Snap infraction. I've not heard that one. You don't see that very often. He's in a shotgun, and the ball looked like it just never came off the ground. Here it is again. Watch the ball right there in the middle of your screen. Look, he dropped it. Again, watch. I think he just drops it.
Oh, he did. He whiffed.
Strike one. You don't see that very often.
Phillip a little frustrated with himself. Been a tough year because of the foot problems that he has had. And, of course, they'll go back to Scott Brown, the 260-pound senior out of Jacksonville, Florida. It's now 3rd and 9 after the penalty. Over the middle is Jamel Kelly. Kelly across the 35 to the 39. Willie Miles brings him down, but not before. It's a first down for South Carolina.
Well, you can't give that much cushion to a Jamel Kelly. And what he does is he's just going to come right in there. Bang. See him throw the ball right to him. And he's got a 2-3 yard cushion on the corner. You got to come up. You can't do that. Willie Miles is number 3. He's got to play him a lot tighter than that. Third down and 12.
Gain of 22. No huddle for the Gamecocks. Another quick hit. Ryan Brewer this time fights his way close to midfield. It's hard to tell if he's close to the first down. They haven't even got the chain set yet. Andre Lott on the stop.
Well, South Carolina wants to hurry right now. They're on the ball. They're not doing it from the huddle. They see something. They don't want a lot of defensive changes. And what they're seeing is those quick little slants inside. They're wide open. See if Petty doesn't come back again. Probably going to try to get the first down first.
Second short. Real short. Half yard maybe. Penning. His 240 pounds will get it.
You know what? As a defensive player, I was sitting there thinking to myself, now who are you going to give it to? I knew who I'd give it to, number 4, because he hasn't been stopped all day. This is just power, straight ahead, get behind the big blockers. Travis Lewis, number 40, gets a good block in there. And Pinnock just puts his head down. I like the way he's running. Hard, compact, 6 foot, about 245, big legs.
Sophomore out of Bloomfield, Connecticut. Last week rushed for 135 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Petty rolls, buys time to the middle of the field once again. That pass complete to Willis Ham, 89, not 88. And Willis Ham certainly had a big game last week, and Skip Holtz happy with the way Willis has played. Says he needs more than just Jamel Kelly and Brian Scott to step up at wide receiver.
Well, what's interesting at wide receiver, when you make a mistake, you sit down. And that's what's happened at South Carolina. And all of a sudden, you got a new guy getting the shot, and he's taking advantage of it. Hey, throw me the ball until I make a mistake.
Pressure. Penny goes down. Anthony Sessions with the sack.
Straight blitz right there. Watch 22. And what's interesting is Petty went down. He's had that gimpy ankle. I'm not sure he didn't twist that ankle again, because I saw when he got up, he kind of limped around a little bit trying to loosen it up. But Anthony Sessions, number 22, on a dart. That's what you get. That's the way you pressure a quarterback.
5.5 sacks this season for Anthony Sessions. Petty limping around a little bit. 3 sacks today for this Tennessee defense. Petty steps up, fires. The slant works again. Jamel Kelly. Willie Miles brings him down.
Boy, Petty is hobbled, but he's throwing darts. You can't give that much cushion. Dave, you're saying the exact same thing. You can't give that much cushion. It's wide open. Look at this. This is just pitch and catch. That slant is open all day long.
You do that enough, though, something tells me that safety might step up and decapitate somebody.
Yeah, if you can take the free safety and kind of shade him over there. But hey, 3rd down and 1, must be Pinnock time. Get a free 5 yards.
Dominique Stevenson just came barreling right up the middle.
That's guessing the snap count and guessing wrong. You guess on 2 and it's on 3. Trying to get penetration.
Dead ball, offsides, contact by the defense, 5-yard penalty.
Again, good use of the hard count by Phil Petty. Watch this, hard count. Watch right here, right in the middle. You see him just dart through there. He's emphasizing that count, and you've got to give credit to those offensive linemen, because when something flashes in front of you, it's real easy to jump off sides.
Well, Phil Petty has found his stroke here in the second half. He has improved his overall numbers. 13 of 20 for 166. Kelly's been his favorite target with 75 yards. Back after this message from Alltel. Tied at 7, 10th play of this drive, but don't think that's impressive. Last week against Vanderbilt, they had a 19-play drive that took up 88 yards and 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and this is what this drive looks like so far, and Phil Petty has been the man. 1st and 10 after the Tennessee timeout. Here's the pitch to Watson. Boy, the defensive front is so quick. Not only are they got pretty good size, but guys like John Henderson at 290, Dave, this guy can flat out move.
He runs. Let me tell you, if Henderson doesn't make that tackle, it's going for 15 yards. But big John Henderson, you look at his size. I looked eye to eye at him. 6 tackles, 2 sacks today.
Yeah.
I looked at him yesterday eye to eye, but he can run twice as fast as I could. He just darts in there. I mean, wow, I'm impressed by his play.
Just a junior. Many believe that he'll be heading off to the greener pastures of the NFL. Of course, that's a subject don't bring up with Philip Fulmer. He lost a lot of underclassmen to the NFL a year ago. Penning, look at him. Holding on for dear life, Dominic Stevenson. That is a major collision.
Oh, it is. You can hear that hit up here in the booth. I mean, that's just, you talk about smashing. Pinnock just putting his head down. And how about Stevenson? He gives away about 25 pounds. He's up about 25 pounds, and whoo, what a hit.
There's Derek Watson on the sideline. Last week, Derek had some virus, battling the flu, and still had over 100 yards. Today, just hasn't got untracked as of yet. But it's got to be nice to know you found an Andrew Pinnock. Last year, Coach Holt said he reminded him of one Jerome Bettis. Petty, the little slant nearly picked off by Willie Miles. Whew, that was close.
I'll tell you what was close about it. Jamel Kelly gave up on the pattern. You can't give up on the pattern, because when you do, you open it up. It's a slant in here like this. And watch him. He just gives up on the pattern. See, he doesn't come up. He doesn't run out the pattern. You can't do that. Watch again, right of your screen. You just can't do that. You can't give up. Wow. Willie Miles says, hey, you ain't doing that on me again.
Daniel Weaver to attempt this field goal from 34. It is no good, and we remain tied at 7. The kicking woes continue for the Gamecocks. 6:32 to play in the third quarter. We're knotted up at 7. Back after a word from your local stations. It's a pretty good opportunity to take the lead over Tennessee on the missed field goal from Daniel Weaver. And now Tennessee takes over at their 20. Not the same offense that faced Alabama last week. At least they haven't gotten in sync yet. This might help. Pass is incomplete around the 40-yard line, looking for David Martin. I really think Casey Clausen, Dave, is maybe got a little gun shy with the pressure he's seen from this front 3, if you will, from South Carolina.
Yeah, he's seen number 55 in his left eyelid, and he's going, holy cow. Meanwhile, Cleveland Pinckney might be down again. He's been up, he's been down, he's been off the field, coming out. Tough guy, trying to play.
Bad ankle. He hurt it against Arkansas. Actually a teammate with Tennessee's Anthony Sessions in junior college. Oh, the pass was nearly batted down by Edwards, but it goes complete to Dante Stallworth, who stays on his feet until Edwards can come back and wrestle him out of bounds. Boy, that was Sheldon Brown.
And Dave, that was great closing speed by the corner, because they came up so quickly. Watch this. That closing speed, once the ball's thrown, now watch him come up on him quick. Bang. Now, don't let go of him. He's got some help coming. Jonathan Martin, 39, running over there. You see Edwards, 55 over there. A lot of shirts. But you got to close that ball. Big third down.
Cleveland Pinckney back on the field. The senior out of Sumter, South Carolina. On a 3rd and 6. Going up top, through the fingertips of Cedric Wilson. That would have been a huge play, maybe a touchdown.
I don't believe he missed this. You never see Cedric Wilson miss the ball like this. I don't think his arms were outstretched. He's running with Martin, number 39, and I want to tell you one thing. He was beat. Watch this, just to go. Little hitch right there. Now go, and look at this right here. That ball just, oh, mercy. Mercy. You can't throw the ball any better than that.
That was a fantastic throw. Leverton to punt it away. Brewer back to return it. Lets it hop, and this is going to go an extra 15, 20 yards before Tennessee's able to down it. Ice House congratulates Richard Barid from Savannah, Georgia, for winning with Get the Call. Get the Call is your chance to win great football prizes every Saturday while enjoying the JP Sports Game of the Week. You could be one of over 100 lucky winners every week that get the call during the telecast. See participating retailers for details. Ice House, the official beer of JP Sports Broadcast, reminds you to drink responsibly, so get in the game and score big with Get the Call. Must be 21 or older. Rules and regulations apply. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details. Plank Road Brewery, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. First and 10 from the 21 for the Gamecocks. Tied at 7. Derek Watson, maybe a half a yard. Give him a yard.
Dave, I can tell you one thing they're saying in the huddle right now. They're saying don't work to get in field goal range.
Charles has more on offensive lineman Cedric Williams of South Carolina. Charles?
Yeah, guys, you've talked about people being banged up today. Cedric Williams went out of the game. His right ankle is hurt. They've got it in ice. His return for today is doubtful at this time.
Well, I had a chance to spend some time with Cedric and, of course, C.J. Fry in the training room yesterday. Of course, I got that bad ankle, too. I know what they're going through. Petty under pressure. Gets hit as he throws it. And the ball sails out of bounds. Jamel Kelly, the intended receiver, but Petty under pressure. Would like to think for a second. Phillip. Go ahead.
Talk about just pressure. You talk about getting to the football. Watch Tennessee. They get to the football. They deflect this pass. They don't get knocked down. Big pressure up front. Putting them on the ground. That's Hainsworth. Had to quiet old Albert down a little bit this week. They put a little bit, they call it bulletin board fodder, and he had a few things to say early in the week.
Albert will talk. Petty, 3 hurries, 4 knockdowns today. 5 of 10 on third downs are the Gamecocks this afternoon, and they're looking at 3rd and 10. Over the middle, Brewer. Still on his feet. Ryan Brewer. Brewer to the 20. He will score. Gamecocks win it 13-7. 78 yards.
Tennessee has been that slant. And that's exactly what that was. He just split. Number 37, Eddie Moore, and number 13, Tad Gold. He just split between them. Unbelievable.
Point after is good. And just like that on 3rd down and 10, South Carolina able to go the distance, 78 yards.
Boy, you talk about exciting fans. These fans are just incredibly excited right now. Again, it's just a slant. Watch this. Right underneath, right in the pass. Now look right there. He breaks through 2 tackles. 37 should have had him.
Eddie Moore had a good lick on him.
And you know what? They talk about Ryan Brewer. They say he does everything. Well, now he's done something special. Watch him. Ryan Brewer, number 21. He's going to slant. Perfect pass. Right there, bounces off him, and he's off to the races. Picks up a good block by one of his wideouts right here. I didn't see who it was flashing across. It might have been Jamel Kelly. That's kind of what sprung him the last 20 yards. How about Phil Petty? You think he's excited? Look at him.
Ryan Brewer has pretty much endeared himself to these fans with his work ethic and his desire and commitment to play. He's an example of what the Gamecocks have wanted to see unfold over the past couple of years, and I think they're seeing the results of a lot of hard work and dedication here in 2000.
Well, when Lou Holtz and Skip Holtz talk about him, they say, hey, he's not flashy, he's not fast, he's not this, he's not big. But let me tell you something, he works hard, just exactly what you're talking about, work ethic. And you can see how the work ethic came through.
3:52 on the clock. It ran about 20 seconds after the touchdown was scored, so they're waiting to reset the clock to 4:22. That is why we have a delay. By the way, Phil Petty today, 14 of 23, 244, 1 interception, and of course the touchdown moments ago. Steady Petty.
He's been steady. What Lou Holt said, I don't care if you don't lose it for us. Don't force the ball into trouble. And he's thrown well. But now you got a wounded Tennessee team, and let me tell you, when you got a wounded Tennessee team, they'll come back.
Leonard Scott. Leonard Scott to the 40. Of course, he finally brings him down. 41-yard return for Leonard Scott. He had a 30-yard return on his last touch. And, boy, this is South Carolina lucky he didn't bust this.
Yes, they are. And, it's interesting. He caught that ball about 4 yards deep in the end zone. He just loves to run the football. He sets up blockers well. He's got that great speed.
Yards by half. Volunteers have been shut down. 96 total yards for the Volunteers. 279 total for the Gamecocks. Remember, a true freshman under center in Clausen. He rolls out, hits his fullback. It's 7 or 8. Will Bartholomew, Rashad Faison on the tackle. And next week, it's the Florida Gators, currently ranked 8th in the country, taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores from Nashville. Our JP Sports Game of the Week begins at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. Many of you will have a chance to see our SEC football today. Preceding that at noon Eastern, Florida and Vanderbilt in Nashville. DeVar Gaffney, Dan Stricker, two great receivers next week in the Southeastern Conference. Well, a big play there. That really gives Tennessee some options here on 2nd and 2. Their option is Travis Henry. Travis Henry still on his feet. Travis Henry's just able to do some things that you just don't expect him to.
Well, I thought for a minute that he made the mistake. I thought he should have come inside. And then all of a sudden he just kind of runs through that little pile. Big left side. Watch him down block, get out here. And they just run you. Now look at Henry just setting him up. And now he sees a little crease through there.
That could have been a 4-yard loss. Instead, he picks up 6. And it's a first down. Now the ball's on the Gamecock 44. Stallworth in motion. Back and forth he goes. Clausen, quick hitter to Stallworth. Carolina has it read pretty well, but the play picks up about 6, and that's what you want for Tennessee to set up a second down in less than 5.
Well, I'm really impressed by Casey Clausen not panicking in this situation. He's just a freshman. He's out there. He's guiding his team. He's gone with his offensive flow. He's looking over for his directions from his sideline coaches. Not in any hurry, just in there in control. And that's a mark that's awfully hard to teach when you're just a freshman.
Second down and 4. Pass is caught and completed. Still on his feet is David Martin. Sheldon Brown on the coverage, and that should be good enough for a first down.
Well, it's a dangerous pass out in the flat, but Clausen really does a good job delivering the football out there. Again, in control. Charlie Strong and his defensive staff saying come up with a stop. Philip Fulmer and his staff is saying, hey, don't make a mistake. Don't force it in. Don't make a freshman mistake. Just keep this offense rolling.
Only the 8th first down of the afternoon for Tennessee. Bobby Graham in motion, but the handoff goes to Henry. He bounces off 2 or 3 guys and still drives his way. 5'11", 220 pounds is Travis Henry. He just continues to put punishment on the defenders. Some scores brought to you by Pizza Hut. Auburn and Arkansas in the second quarter, a defensive battle. Ole Miss on top of UNLV, first ever meeting between those two teams.
Ooh.
It's early. Middle Tennessee State.
There's another ooh.
State, and that is in Minnesota. Ooh. A lot of oohs.
A lot of oohs today.
Henry. Lost the football. He lost the football. South Carolina has it. Shannon Wadley stepped in to make the hit. Kalimba Edwards recovers the fumble. This guy is having a career day. 2 sacks, an interception for a touchdown, a fumble recovery. Wow.
Watch number 41, Wadley. There he goes down the line. When he gets there, he just rips the ball out. Look at the ball. It's right behind him. Heads up play. But number 41, you remember that big hit we saw a couple weeks ago in the Arkansas game? That young man put some oomph on it. Look at Phil Fulmer.
Well, Dave, they had a good drive going.
Oh, it's an excellent one.
Running, throwing. Watson loses more yards. Albert Hainsworth on the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you that Watson is just not going to run against this Tennessee defense.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Second down and 13. Watson now 10 carries for just 4 yards. Make that 11 carries. Might have got 1, so 5 yards. Anthony Sessions on the stop. Anthony got a bandaged up right hand. Just one of the many walking wounded on this football field today. And Dave, we talked to Lou Holtz about South Carolina yesterday. This is their 9th straight game.
Yeah, they haven't had that off week. And that's one thing that's really upsetting. It's been upsetting for a lot of years. Especially Coach Holtz said, hey, we don't ever get a break. We never get a chance to get well. Now, if you're Phil Petty, it's don't make a mistake.
3rd and 13. Petty trying to go up top. Good coverage by Tennessee. It was intended for Jamel Kelly. Willie Miles on the coverage. 3 seconds to go before the end of the third quarter. And here's South Carolina's schedule, folks. 9 straight weeks to play in this league. I mean, that is brutal. They've come out with a 7-1 record. Of course, today's still yet to be determined. The week off next week to gain some momentum before Florida and Clemson. If you're a South Carolina fan, you got 3 great weeks of football coming up to finish out the season.
Believe it.
Tyler Dean to punt it away. Partially blocked, perhaps. It'll roll to the 35 before it sails out of bounds, and that will be the last play of the third quarter. On a 3rd and 10, Petty hits Brewer. 78 yards. That's the difference in the game. 3 periods, not a whole lot, just 21 combined points, but the key number, South Carolina in the fourth quarter, they're beating their opponents to the tune of 43-17. It was a first quarter story for Tennessee coming in, I think 58-13 or something like that. But in the fourth quarter, it has been South Carolina and Tennessee. Only a 4-point advantage in the fourth quarter here in 2000. First down and 10. Fresh 15 minutes, a fresh set of downs. Let's play some football. Paulson runs it to the 40. Gain of about 6 on the play. Let's go back to the third quarter. Take a look at some of the big highlights.
Well, it's been number 55 for defense. That's Kalimba Edwards. He's been all over, but that pass right there by Brewer, that was unbelievable. Broke that slant for 78 yards, and that has been the difference in this second half. Then a fumble just as Tennessee's driving down, getting in good field position. Number 41, Shannon Wadley, comes over and causes a fumble. They get the football back.
How many big plays did we see last week because guys missed tackles in that Georgia-Kentucky game? Paulson gets it off. And as Travis Stevens gets nailed by Rashad Faison.
I want to tell you, Faison is fearless. First of all, Hutchinson's going to get pressure on the quarterback. He's coming right up the middle. Watch number 51. He's on a dart right up the middle now. He gets pressure. But watch number 11. Rashad Faison come up. You talk about running through. That's what you want your defensive backs to be. I mean, he's outweighed by about 60 pounds, and he just runs through them.
Charles, what do you have?
Hey, guys, one thing I've noticed, Casey Clausen floats a number of passes, and when you float it, that gives the defenders time to get there, and you saw the end result the last play.
It gives defenders time to get there, and it gets your receivers knocked around. Play clock, running down, just gets it off. Dawson under pressure again. floats that one up in the air. Caught by Wilson, and he breaks a tackle. Cedric across midfield down to the 46 of South Carolina before he's finally brought down by Kevin House. Charlie Strong not happy. Thought his defense should have had a sack.
I thought Casey Clausen got that football off, and he got up slow after just a great pass. Watch this. He's under a lot of pressure, comes up there, looks downfield, just floats it out there, takes a whale of a hit. And then how about number 14, Cedric Wilson? You talk about getting that first down marker. And watch Clausen get this hit. Watch this. Right in here. Bam!
Oh, gosh.
Man, that is a hit.
Island was number 28 for South Carolina, the guy that had a chance for the sack. Lawson has some time. He'll run it again. They want to. South Carolina wants a hold against Tennessee.
And they should get it. They should get it. I want to tell you, there was a manhandle out here. I think I was watching Goodson, number 74, and I mean, he was just swallowing. I think he had Edwards 55 out there on the left side. All the South Carolina coaches, Dave, they're all yelling for it. We'll let the official determine what it was, but boy, it looked like a big-time hold.
Holding on the offense.
Holding against the offense as we take a look at stats through 3 quarters. Huge discrepancy in passing yards.
Yeah, that's the big one right there.
Only 127 total yards of offense for Tennessee. They came in averaging 347 a game. Only 8th in the league, but still a pretty good number. But today, just 127 through 3 quarters. Firsts and 19. Hand off to Stevens. He gets a couple of yards. That'll bring up second and extremely long for Tennessee. This South Carolina defense, Dave, seems to get better and better as the game wears on, despite all the nicks.
Yeah, they are nicked up, but let me tell you what they're playing with. They're playing with emotion. They've not been in this situation. How many times have they played Tennessee and lost and not even been in the football game? Charlie Strong has got them playing, I'm talking about, best that they can play. This is the best that they can play.
Well, this is the 19th meeting between these two schools. South Carolina won in '92. They also won way back in 1903. And that'll do it for the success against the Vols. Clausen under pressure again. He will go down at the 37-yard line. Cleveland Pinckney and Cecil Caldwell team up for the sack.
And Dave, that's the way you get a sack. You collapse the pocket from the inside, force them outside. There's nowhere to go. Watch the left of your screen. Up in here, you're going to see him come out. Now look, there's nowhere to go. He's got pressure inside. He's got pressure outside. And 96 just 96 just plants him. That's Cecil Caldwell.
6 quarterback sacks today. It's a young offensive line that's being tested by a relatively experienced front line. Michael Munoz, the true freshman right tackle, out of the game with a bad elbow. The record crowd on their feet. Back in a moment. Senior day in Columbia, South Carolina. Cleveland Pinckney, bad ankle and all. They call him Big Sexy, is playing his heart off today. Well, he certainly has stepped up along with his teammate Cecil Caldwell. Tennessee going deep. Pass batted down at the 25-yard line. Intended for Dante Stallworth. Andre Goodman on the coverage. And South Carolina holds. This defense has been impressive today.
Well, this is good. Just good coverage. You run with him. Now go up high for the ball. If you can't intercept it, knock it down. That's exactly what the defender did in that position. That's just great coverage. One-on-one, thinking he's going long. Got your coverage.
Levered into punt away. Ryan Brewer back. Brewer takes it at the 19 and ends up at about the 16.
But he didn't let it, if you want to look at a punt, at least he didn't let it go down.
That was the quickest he's ever lost 3 yards in his life. Back in a moment. Jefferson Pilot Sports, glad to be in Columbia. Third trip here this year. They have treated us well. Kerry Tharp, Dr. Mike McGee, the athletic director. Kerry Tharp, the sports information director. They're excited about their Gamecocks as Halloween just around the corner, Tuesday night. 1st and 10 for the Gamecocks. They lead by a touchdown. 11:28 to go in the fourth quarter. Petty keeps it. Only gets about a yard. He's got a bad ankle. Willie Miles runs him out of bounds. Speaking of bad ankles, would like to thank for a moment, Dave, if I could, Philip Hedrick, who's an assistant athletic trainer here at South Carolina, and Rod Walters, the assistant athletic director for sports medicine, who kindly took me in yesterday and gave me some treatment on an ankle.
I almost needed him. I about broke my finger on that glass.
Yeah, there is a window in front of us, in case you didn't know,
I didn't see it. I got a little bit excited and pointed. And then I tried to act nonchalant.
Yeah. I caught you.
Oh, boy.
Out of bounds. Intended for Ryan Brewer. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Petty run all the way back to the goal line.
Yeah, but did you see Petty turn around at that official? Hey, I got rid of that ball. He's not allowed to rumble me in the ground. How about Petty? He's got an ankle brace on. He's not nimble. He's out there leading his team. And then giving those big defensive linemen just a story or two.
Well, he's 14 of 25, 244, a touchdown and an interception. He is completing 53% of his passes this year. Last year, completed just 44%. Had 7 interceptions and 1 touchdown. He's just been steady. It's 3rd and 8. Little crossing route this time, covered well by the Vols. That was Jabari Greer. Ryan Scott, the intended receiver. 4th down. Carolina's got to punt it away, and a solid defensive stand by Tennessee. They'll get the ball back and have good field position.
Yeah, this slant, they made adjustment. Look at Greer come in there, get the arms in there, knock the ball away. Ball floated up there for a second. You see Greer, think he's not excited. They know that slant has worked against them all day long.
Tyler Dean to punt to Rashad Baker. High spiral, good coverage kick. But Baker runs right past the coverage. The South Carolina punt team just ran right past the ball. The Gamecock defense today, though, has been awesome, Dave.
Oh, they have. Number 55, Edwards, has made tackles all over. Then you see Shannon Wadley, 41, caused that fumble on that last drive just when it looked like Tennessee was going to get there. And then great pressure by the defensive line. 96 is Caldwell, and he buries him. And then good coverage downfield. And they have just played a marvelous football game.
Charlie Strong deserves a lot of credit for the work he has done. Also, you know, you keep an eye on number 55 because of Kalimba Edwards. An interception returned 81 yards, a fumble recovery, a couple of sacks. Carry by Stevens. Picks up 7 yards.
And Dave, did you see the way Travis carried that football? Had both hands on it when he ran up through there. Watch him run into traffic. He's going to come up through the line, get a little. Now see both hands on that football. Look at him put it down. When he's going to get hit right there, puts both hands and wraps it up. They've been told on the sideline that this is a very important drive.
Travis having a pretty good day. He had a fumble that will certainly hurt this Tennessee team if they can't win this football game. But Kalimba Edwards, the man who recovered that fumble, this is one of those career games for the junior out of East Point, Georgia. Look at Henry. Now the offensive line creating some holes. Sheldon Brown brings him down, but you give Henry a step or two crossing the line of scrimmage, watch out.
Well, he's a big runner. Watch the hole. It's going to come right at you. Good up block there. That's Fleming getting a good block in there. And then Edwards just Henry just putting his head down, getting that yardage. Don't look for anything fancy here. If South Carolina gambles and comes up and brings 8 people in the box, they may throw it.
Tied up in Auburn. Ole Miss by a couple of touchdowns. Mississippi State back in the lead. Clausen under pressure. Casey Clausen will just throw it up. He was out of the pocket, so that is completely legal, and the ball crossed the line of scrimmage. So the crowd, some in the crowd may want a grounding call, but that play was completely legal. Pressure coming from Cleveland Pinckney, the big sexy.
Well, he only had 2 people out on the pass route. He had both of them to his right. There was nobody to throw to. It was well covered. He ran around, got a little bit of time, said, hey, there's nobody to throw to, so I'm just going to loft that football out there. Again, you don't want to give the football up in this situation. You don't want to settle for a field goal. If you have to, yes. But they've got to be thinking touchdowns to get some momentum back in this game.
Play clock running down. They get the play off. Boston over the middle. Has his man caught at the 11-yard line. First down. Bobby Graham hangs on.
And Dave, what a dart this was. Crossing pattern into the middle, right in there. Now watch. He's just going to lay it out right in front. Just a perfect thrown ball. Double coverage. You cannot throw it any better than that.
That was a great throw.
That was marvelous throw. I mean, you just don't throw it any better than that. Catch him right in stride, right inside that little pocket. That may be Clausen's best pass of the day, and they needed it.
Gain of 14. Red zone offense for the Vols. Not stellar. Clausen has to throw it out of bounds.
Well, you don't mind wasting it down in that situation. But look, again, Clausen trying to get away from that backside pressure, running the ball away from number 55, Edwards.
Philip Fulmer said his quarterback managed the game extremely well. Made some big plays out of some broken plays and didn't do anything crazy last week. Just got it done, and that's what he wanted out of his quarterback. And today, Casey Clausen facing a tough task on the road in this hostile environment. But he's got him in striking distance, 2nd and 10 from the 11. Big hit at the 10-yard line. Travis Henry got the carry. The hit came from Dennis Quinn, 93. The sophomore out of Washington, Georgia.
Wow, it's 93. Watch him step up in here. Play off that block, get in the pocket right there, and don't let him fall forward. That was a huge stop. 3rd down, about 8-9 to go. If you're Tennessee, look for that roll action where maybe you can find a Cedric Wilson out in the flat. Big down.
3rd and 8 from the 10. Crowd on their feet. Incomplete. No flags on the play. Looking for Dante Stallworth. That'll bring up 4th down, and Coach Fulmer will attempt the field goal. He's got one of the best kickers in the entire country in Alex Wall, so you might as well use him.
Absolutely. This is a sure thing. When you're 12 of 12, you don't get much better than that.
He has made 14 straight field goals. The former walk-on is 20 of 23 in his career. Will attempt a 27-yarder. And Walls remains perfect. Only 3 kickers in the history of the NCAA have gone through a season perfect with at least 15 attempts. Philip Fulmer's teams within 4. Lou Holtz knows he's got a battle on his hands. Welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. The Gamecocks lead Tennessee 14-10 after the 27-yard field goal by volunteer Alex Walls. Lou Holtz for president. I'd say he's a popular man. A little pooch kick. Taken at the 30-yard line. Good field position for the Gamecocks. Well, hey, fans, every time you use your Bank of America Visa credit or check card, you are entered to win great football prizes in the Bank of America Big Bowl Blitz. Use the card. Get in the game. Go to bankofamerica.com/sports for official rules and alternate means of entry. First down and 10. South Carolina with the ball at the 31-yard line. Will Petty, 14 of 26, 244. Hasn't really completed a pass, I think, since the touchdown reception by Ryan Brewer. Hand off to Penny. Loses maybe a yard. Good team D by Tennessee. Andre Lott finally brought him down. That's 7 stops now for Andre Lott.
And when you're a good defense, you turn it up a notch, and that's what Tennessee needs right now. They need to turn it up a notch.
Charles, what's going on?
Hey, the last defensive stand by Tennessee put them in a position after the nice punt return by Baker to kick the field goal and make it 14-10. An equally important defensive stand for the Volunteers this possession.
Yeah, they need to step it up. And this is a defense that can create some big plays. Petty rolls out. Incomplete. Field judge took a big whack. Jamel Kelly, the intended receiver. Field judge Mike Washington down there.
Mike, you got to keep a low base. You can't stand up like that. You got to keep a low base. But he's back up. Hey. Boy, if you're South Carolina, you don't want to go 3 and out. Just don't want to go 3 and out.
That is our clock operator, not the field judge. Stand corrected. Mike, you're all right. Hang in there, buddy.
Oh. Thank you there, partner. Appreciate you correcting me.
Please reset the clock. 7:41. 7:41.
Tom Seismansky is our clock operator. They're going to reset the clock. See, Tom, you get hit, you get some camera time.
That's right.
You're going to reset the clock. Big smile on his face.
Right. Well, it's a huge down. You don't want to give the football back to Tennessee. They've got momentum on their side. We want to keep it.
Pass is complete, but hardly a gain, maybe a couple of yards. Willis Ham on the reception. And guess what, folks? This Tennessee defense has done it again. They've held Carolina, and they're going to have pretty good field position once again with 7:24 to go. Tyler Dean to punt to Rashad Baker, who had a nice return previously. Good high kick again, a lot of hang time. Baker once again gets through some South Carolina defenders, but a flag rest at the 25-yard line.
And I'm wondering if he didn't give him enough room to catch it.
Could be the case.
Just too close.
Thomas Hill, backup tight end, might have been the guilty party.
Might have been Goodman, number 35 in there. What you have to do is you have to give them 2 yards to catch the football, but they've been so productive once they've caught that ball that sometimes you squeeze it a little bit.
Kick catch, interference, violation of the 2-yard belt, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Again, let's see if he's within 2 yards. Nothing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's certainly within. That's Andre Goodman, number 35.
Pizza Hut scoreboard. Mississippi State tacks on to their lead. They trailed in that one early, but have bounced back. Flag down in the middle of the field. Travis Henry on the carry. John Stamper. Didn't know how much Stamper would play today. He's got a bad ankle like everybody else out here on this field today. I mean, it's unbelievable how many injuries we've had today.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Now they're throwing it right in the middle of the line. See if it's a hold. Yeah, it's hold against the offense. Now they stopped him for no yards.
Fans, log on to jpsports.com and check out our new fan shop. We have a great selection of merchandise from every school. The best news is you pay no shipping charges for your order. Also, all customers receive a free gift with their first order of $25 or more. Get a head start on your Christmas shopping and visit our fan shop today. Record crowd on hand in Columbia, 84,200. They set a new season average attendance mark as well. It's just been one of those years in Columbia, but Tennessee would love to spoil it. Play action. Another great throw by Casey Clausen. That's the toughest throw a quarterback can make.
It is, because you have to throw over the backer or who's up or short, and then you have to drop it into your wide receiver. And you know what? He goes to number 14, Cedric Wilson. He's done it a lot. Watch this trajectory on the pass. Throw it over top, right there, over, but yet in front.
Cedric Wilson on the reception. Tennessee with some pressure. Picked up well that time by Will Bartholomew, the fullback.
How heads up is that, Dave? He just picks up about 10, 12 yards, doesn't try to go for it all, doesn't force the football into trouble.
That ball is in the air a long time. You better have some zip on it when you throw that out route. The pass is caught by Stallworth. Goes across the 35 to the 37. Cleveland Pinckney on the tackle for South Carolina.
Boy, and this is one of those tweener downs right here. 3rd down, about 4. You're thinking pass. But when you have the likes of a Travis Henry back there, you can always run the football because he'll pick up 3-4 yards from it. But if you're defense, you've got to be thinking pass.
6 minutes and counting in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 5. First down, Cedric Wilson. And he nearly backpedaled and lost it.
Boy, he did. He almost came back behind the marker. That was close. Boy, Charlie Strong knows he missed a great opportunity. Watch number 14 right here. Right there. Just squat down right there and get the yardage. Again, you see him stretching for it. But Charlie Strong, defense coordinator, knows that they had a great opportunity. They had a first down and 20, and they allowed Tennessee to pick up a first down.
This might be Travis Henry time. It is. Travis Henry. Travis Henry picks up 9.5 yards. He's close to that marker. Didn't get it, I don't think. Jonathan Martin finally brought him down. Travis has quietly put together a pretty nice football game today with 85 yards on 18 carries.
Well, good blocks at the point of attack. You see numbers 77 in there driving off the line. When you can make that corner and you get that shade and you're into the secondary on a straight dart, you're going to pick up yardage.
And put 9 on that, so he's got 94 yards. Nearly a 5-yard average. 2nd down and 1. It's Henry. Henry gets the first down to the 47-yard line. Clock will stop to move the chains.
And Dave, let me tell you what happens in this situation. If you're Charlie Strong and your defensive coordinator, you want to creep those guys up. They're running the football on you. He knows it. But he's got to be careful because if you creep up, they can just run that little play action and bang, burn you long. So it's a tough decision. Do you try to come up, stop the run, or do you hope for an error, just hope that your linemen are able to stop him up front?
I would love to know what was going through his mind just then. Charlie Strong.
Well, he's got number 55. He may just say, sick him, 55. That's Kalimba Edwards.
Casey Clausen stumbles. Never really got a handle on the ball. And Philip Fulmer says, come on, guys, let's go. Clock's moving. Loss of about 4 on the play. Puts it all the way back to the midfield stripe.
Yeah, we're going to be under 4 minutes when this play takes. But heads up there, Clausen, get down. Don't make a freshman mistake and try to do some kind of superhuman thing. Just stay in your offensive flow. Keep driving the football. You're down 4 points.
Second and 14. Clausen has some time over the middle. Oh, pass knocked down. Sheldon Brown. What a play by Sheldon Brown. The intended receiver was Cedric Wilson, but Brown really stepped it up.
Oh, it's so easy to put that left hand on the back of the receiver. Watch number 24, right of your screen. Watch him just stick his right arm in there. And see that left arm, it doesn't come up on the receiver. It's so easy to do that and get pass interference.
That's a close call. A lot of times we see that left hand hit a receiver and they'll throw a flag. We just didn't see it that time.
Absolutely.
3rd and 14. The crowd will tell you if they make it. Dante Stallworth inside the 30. Huge play. Clausen to Stallworth. First down, Volunteers.
Boy, and how about Clausen? Just dropping back in that pocket, having a lot of confidence, looking downfield, finding top of your screen, just a crossing pattern coming across. There's the empty seam. Bang, he just hits him. Safety's playing too far deep on the play, trying not to get beat deep. Just a heads-up play on 3rd and 3rd and 11, 12 yards to go. Wow.
Gain of 23. Stallworth, 6 catches today. Travis Henry, close to the 20-yard line. Clock moving. Boy, Tennessee would love to eat up some of this clock and get the touchdown.
Boy, and you think back on that short field goal that South Carolina missed early.
For Travis Henry, who's 5th all-time rushing at University of Tennessee, has 102 yards today, which is his 11th 100-yard game, and ranks 4th all-time at Tennessee. What a career for the senior from Frostproof, Florida. There's Travis Henry. When Henry carries the football and you make the tackle, you know who had the football.
It's a collision because he runs full speed. He's not looking for the seam. He's just bursting through. Defense got a lot of hands on their hips, Dave. They're tired. But they just need to realize you just got to suck it up one time.
Third down, 1. 2 minutes to play. Henry up top. He needed to get to the 16 and a half. I think he got it to about the 15. That'll be a first down and a fresh set for Tennessee. 2 minutes exactly on the clock. And Dave, is this South Carolina D getting tired?
It is. It is getting tired. They played hard today. Everybody knew who was going to get the football, and he's going to go up and over. Now, if you're South Carolina, you've got to be thinking you've got to stop them short here. You can't let them in the end zone because the touchdown wins for them. Field goal, no factor.
Well, the good news is Tennessee's only scored 13 touchdowns and 28 trips inside the red zone this year. That pass to Bartholomew is complete. Out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Tennessee's red zone touchdown scoring is 11th in the conference. They score a touchdown only 46% of the time. Lou Holtz wants a timeout. He and his defensive coordinator Charlie Strong will gather the troops as the clock is down to 1:38. A field goal won't do it. They got to have a touchdown.
South Carolina timeout.
And watch him. He's got them all together there, Dave. He's got them all. He's saying, okay, now look, don't try to do anything superhuman. Play your defense. Every one of you, play what your assignment is. Don't try to help out elsewhere.
Well, Tennessee has played some close games. This one, like some of the others that they have been involved with in this season that has seen them go 3-3, just 1-3 in league play. The first game came against Florida. Jesse Palmer marched the Gators 91 yards in the last 2 minutes before completing a touchdown pass to Jabbar Gaffney for the game winner. Gaffney didn't have it too long, but it was ruled a touchdown. Then 2 weeks later, the Vols forced overtime at LSU, but Rohan Davey hit Robert Royal for the go-ahead touchdown, and Damian James knocked down the Vols' 4th down and goal pass as the Tigers escaped with a 38-31 win. That was the second overtime game for the Vols. They have just been they've been snake bitten this year, but you know, Philip Fulmer remains positive.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
And I don't blame him. From what I've seen, they've got a solid defense. They've got a lot of young talent.
Well, he's got a lot of weapons. You got Travis Henry back there. You got Cedric Wilson on those crossing patterns. You got Dante Stallworth. You got a lot of weapons, and you got a freshman quarterback who's leading this team and playing well.
5:20. How about the time of possession in the 4th quarter? Tennessee's had it 11:20. South Carolina's only had it 2 minutes. Little play action. Wide open. Nice defensive play. David Martin makes the catch.
When the clock keeps on going, it's down under a minute and a half.
Eddie Moore made a nice defensive play to step up and stop what could have been a big play.
Boy, it was great play action right here. Come against the grain. Nobody out there. I thought for a second he was going to run the football. You talk about wide open. Good come up by the corner right there. Excellent come up by there by Goodman, number 35.
Goodman played that extremely well.
Well, 3rd down. It's going to be about a foot to go. Who do you think's going to get it?
3rd down short.
13 plays, 62 yards on this drive. Started at 6:57. .122 in the 4th quarter. 3 wide receivers. 3 tight ends. Check that. Up and over. Did he get it? I think he got it. I think he got it. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the 5 with a $1:13 to go.
And Philip Fulmer looking there, just telling his quarterback, calm down. We got the first down. Up and over. Travis Henry, how many times have we seen that? Up and over. Not by a whole lot does he make it, but it gives him 4 downs, and there's no surprises here. You may see a little play fake action, but again, I think it's just Henry time.
Well, this is his game. He said he loves it when he can carry it 25 or more. He's got 24 carries, 111 yards. Carry 25 to the goal line. Did he get in? Down to the 1-foot line with 45 seconds and counting.
Well, again, Henry over to the top. We've seen it so many times, stretching high.
Second and goal. Henry, touchdown, Volunteers. They take the lead, 16-14. That was all Travis Henry. Henry's second touchdown of the day.
No surprises. It's Travis Henry time. We've talked about it all day long. When you need a yard, what do? You go to him. And look at Phil Fulmer. In control, just telling him, calm down. We've still got 26 seconds left, but he's got to be pleased. It was a wounded Tennessee offense. When you start to think back about that last series that South Carolina had, when they went 3 and out, if they could have made a couple first downs here and there, might have changed the complexion of this football game. But again, went 3 and out, and you have to credit Tennessee's defense. They came out there and put a stop on them, Dave, and got great field position.
Dave, unbelievable drive by Tennessee. Give the young guys up front a lot of credit. Casey Clausen, your true freshman quarterback, made the throws he had to make. They went 16 plays, 68 yards, took up 6.5 minutes. You know, this is a young football team that didn't screw it up.
Absolutely. And you remember that first series, when they first started that drive, they had a first down at 20. They had that holding call, so they had to come back from a first down at 20. Casey Clausen threw 2 just wonderful passes.
And you wonder why the South Carolina defense kind of broke down somewhat in this drive. Well, Tennessee in the 4th quarter alone has had the ball 12 minutes and 33 seconds. South Carolina's offense has only had it 2 minutes.
Yeah, they've been 3 and out, 3 and out. You can't put that much pressure on your defense.
Alex Walls to attempt the point after. He is perfect all the way around this season. The Volunteers, they're loving it. They're up by a field goal. Tennessee has taken the 3-point lead with 26 seconds to play. The line drive kick taken at about the 10-yard line by Derek Watson. Watson taken down at the 20. Great coverage. So a long way to go for the Gamecocks and not a whole lot of time to get there. Mark Jones with a good play on that kick coverage unit. Here comes Phil Petty.
Well, I can tell you that Tennessee's not going to be lulled to sleep on this. They're going to play a deep zone. They're going to put 3 people probably 20 yards off the ball and say, hey, catch it all you want in front of us, but you're not going to catch it behind us.
Petty today really got quiet after the Ryan Brewer 78-yard touchdown pass. 15 of 28, 247 overall this afternoon. 21 seconds left. You got to go downfield. Petty has time, goes downfield, pass is caught to Kelly. Kelly catches it at the 40-yard line. The clock will stop to move the chains. Only 12 seconds left.
Well, you start thinking about field goal position, and you get worried if you're Lou Holtz. They've got to get to probably the 35-yard line, so they need another 20 yards.
Kicking has just been a, no pun intended, an Achilles heel problem for this team. Timeout taken by South Carolina, their last timeout of the football game.
Well, this means you have to throw at least for a first down. If you don't throw for a first down, you're not going to stop the clock. Complete anything short, and the game's over.
Now it's time to look at the BMW Ultimate Drive of the game, brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Well, you got to go back to the last drive. This is the one that capped it off. Travis Henry's 1-yard touchdown plunge. 16 plays, 68 yards, 6:31 on the clock. Henry on that last drive had 9 carries. Picked up 28 yards. A big 28 yards. Travis Henry over 100 yards for the 11th time in his career. And here we go, 12 seconds to go, Dave Rowe.
Well, you got to throw it 35. You got to throw it at least 30 yards. You got to hope that one of your receivers comes down with like the old Hail Mary pass, something like that. Your defense, you're thinking, just get pressure. Got to throw it 30 yards, get it lined up for a field goal.
3-man rush. Petty steps up. Throws the out pattern. Incomplete. Covered well. The front line of Tennessee has been very, very solid today, as they have been all season long. Reed Bethea, one of the field goal kickers. Probably won't see him today. Daniel Weaver is another guy that could kick a field goal. Jason Coursey could kick a field goal. Who knows?
Well, with 7 seconds, you got to get downfield first. That's what's going to be tough, trying to get downfield.
Just 7 seconds remaining. What looked so promising moments ago for Carolina has turned into what could have been a nightmare. Petty down. The nightmare has come true. The Tennessee players storm the field. Philip Fulmer hits the road and wins the first game away from Neyland Stadium in 2000. And 8 straight over South Carolina. Tennessee goes to 4-3, 2-3 in SEC play. And South Carolina drops to 5-2 and 7-2 overall. But what a win for Tennessee on the road in front of a record crowd in Columbia, South Carolina.
SEC football was brought to you by Alltel, the power to simplify. By BMW. Visit your local BMW center for a test drive. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Sleep In. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep in a class by itself. By Morgan Keegan. Without Morgan Keegan, a lot of investors wind up singing the blues. Morgan Keegan, sound investment advice. By Ice House. Ice House style is about making a good time better with the smooth, never watered down taste of Ice House. By Pizza Hut and the Insider Pizza. So much variety, the best pizzas under one roof. And by Dodge. In a perfect world, everything would be different.
Casey Clausen has made 2 starts. He's 2-0. He beats Alabama. He beats South Carolina. 152 yards on the day. Back after a word from your local stations. Tennessee beats South Carolina. The last-second touchdown dive by Travis Henry was the difference in this one. Ryan Brewer gave the fans some life. The touchdown gave South Carolina the lead, but it was short-lived. For my partner, Dave Rowe, and Charles Davis, our entire crew, I'm Dave Neal. So long, everybody. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive coverage of Southeastern.